Okay. Good morning, everybody. Hello. 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 How are you?
I'm good, thanks. How are you?
I'm fine. Just permit me to express my regrets for failing and failing to link on, right? I'm so sorry. Yeah, could you just introduce yourself?
Okay, I am Tamara Magwashu, the founder and CEO of Azusula Feminine Hygiene Products, born and bred in East London, South Africa.
Okay. Please, how was growing up like?
How was growing up like? It was hard, it was difficult. Because I grew up in extreme poverty, so it was hard, but we persevered through.
Well, at least you passed through, and you are now an achiever, right?
I wouldn't say an achiever. I would just say that I'm someone who's very resilient, and I'm someone who likes to see things through. So yeah.
Could you make it louder? Now, so what do you do?
I like to joke and say that I donate pets for living and keep girls in schools for living. But yeah, that's what I do. I have a sanitary pets business, and we manufacture sanitary pads, feminine hygiene products, panty pads, and wipes, and most of our profits, they go towards charity, which is our She Needs You program. The She Needs You program is basically a part of the business where we donate sanitary pads to schools in marginalized communities. And we go to those schools and we educate them about safe sex, about HIV and AIDS, mental health, bullying, and how to use menstruation and prepare them for menstruation should the time come, or when they're at least in the right stage for them to get their period. So that's basically what I do for living.
Now, why did you choose to go into is it business or a charity or whatever?
I've always said, to me, money is not something I'm familiar with. I didn't grow up with money. I'm saying I've always said that money is not something I grew up with, so it will never be a priority to me because I'm not used to it. So the whole point of the organization, rather, is for us to give back to the community. And the reason I've decided to start my own sanitary pads business was because I grew up where in a community where we couldn't afford sanitary pads, so we had to choose between food and sanitary pads. We had to choose between toiletries and food and water. So that to me was something that, because all of these things are essentials, it's important for girls to have sanitary pads and to have toiletries. But for us, we had to choose which one is most important. Is it you having food over your table, or is it sanitary pads? So if there's an alternative for sanitary pads, then we would choose food. So that's why I decided to open the business, because I grew up in an environment where I used to watch my own mother using old rags, using toilet papers, using papers or even cupboards sometimes. as a sanitary pads. So that to me was something that I didn't want to see any other girl go to. And I know how it affected me. I know the bullying that came with it, because I got my periods at a very young age. So in school I was bullied a lot. So as a matter of fact, I had to graduate 2 years later than my other peers, because there were certain years that I had to be off school because of the bullying was just too much for me. So I made a decision right there and there that I don't ever want to see girls going through what I went through. I don't want to see girls missing school because of that, because not everyone is as resilient as I am. Not everyone can take it. Not everyone has a thick skin. So yeah.
Now, do you manufacture all these things?
Not currently, but we are in process of manufacturing locally. But before that, we were not. But now we are in process of manufacturing locally so that we can create employment and expand to other African countries.
Oh, that's great. And is the government supporting you?
Not really. There's one government agency that has helped me, but the rest of them, no. There's only one. So I can't say that I'm getting a lot of support from the government. That would be a lie. But there's one agency called SIDA. SIDA is the one that has been supporting me with a non-financial support funding. So yeah, it's only that particular agency that supported me or has been supporting me, but the government, no.
But then have you applied to the government?
I've tried just like any other small black business, but then it's always the system against us. It's always the latter way. Their expectations are ridiculous. The threshold we have to meet is ridiculous for small businesses. So it's always a system against us, because in as much as we can apply, but then their requirements, they're ridiculous. They don't accommodate small businesses. So I haven't gotten a lot of support from the government, unfortunately, for me and small businesses in South Africa.
Now, is your business regionally focused or countrywide?
What does that mean?
Okay, I mean, are you doing the business in a section of South Africa, or are you doing it in the whole of South Africa? I mean, in terms of outreach.
Oh, countrywide. No, in terms of outreach, it's a nationwide. We've went to different provinces, different schools, different organizations. So it's not just an East London thing, because as I said, this period, poverty is not just for us in our town. There's a lot of marginalized communities in South Africa. So we went to different, we were firstly based in Joburg and East London, because I was studying in Joburg, but now I've moved back home. So I'm based back home. But nonetheless, it doesn't mean that I'm only accommodating for girls in my area. So we have expanded to every part of South Africa we can possibly think of. And we have, through our websites, because people can get these things through our websites. So from the comfort of their home, sometimes we get requests from people in places I've never heard of, and I have to go in those places and offer my services or whatever it is that I can offer to the table. So yeah.
Apart from South Africa, have you thought of expanding your tentacles throughout Southern Africa, throughout Africa, and all those things?
Yes, definitely. There's certain organizations that I've approached from social media that are working in different countries, and I've asked to collaborate with them. I've asked to sponsor them. There's few ones that I sponsor. So yes, I am planning to expand, I want to expand to the whole of Africa, because if it's hard for us in Africa, people think that South Africa is the richest country in Africa. And so if it is hard for us, how much more can it be for other countries that are in Africa? So we are planning to expand. Recently, I went to Botswana, and during my stay in Botswana for the Forbes summit that we went to, 30 under 30, I saw that, okay, this is a place where these services are actually required. This is a place where this organization can help my organization. So I am planning to expand to Africa. It's just a matter of having the enough funding to scale it to those countries and make it a success as it is in East London, because I don't want to expand to places and they get 10% of what we offer when they can get the whole 100% as to the full program, because it's a program. We don't just donate pets and drop them off. So when we come to a school, we come with different organizations to play different roles and educate people in different things. So that's what I want for that to happen. Hence, I've been in talks with different people. I've been in talks with a diplomat from Malawi. So yeah, I am planning to expand.
That's great. Then I think international organizations like UNICEF and so on will be interested in your project.
I think so too, but it's very difficult for me, someone who's a nobody who lives in a place where no one knows of, to get in contact with big organizations such as United Nations Women or UNICEF. It's very difficult. So it's a dream, but I don't know, maybe the universe will align us someday. I'm hoping.
Anyway, I think several organizations will be interested. You understand? Because what you are doing, you could call it a business, but I would call it a charity. Because all those things you're doing, they are to help the poor, right? Mm-hmm. And you see, as you said, when a girl is having the period and all those things, it might disrupt our schooling and so on. So it's not an easy thing, right? And I very much hope that this thing spreads across Africa. Tell us about your happiest day so far.
Sorry?
Your happiest day so far.
What was my happiest day so far?
Yeah.
My happiest day so far was when the BBC article got released, because it completely changed my life, and it will make a lot of difference, not just my life, but I think what excites me more than anything is the fact that it will change the lives of a lot of girls in Africa, not just South Africa. It will motivate a lot of people. I've gotten a lot of positive feedback from different people all across the globe, and some are inspired to start. They want me to help them to start this in their own countries, in their own cities, which is nice because it's all part of the movement of us eradicating period poverty. So the happiest day for me has to be that, or the happiest moment for me has to be that. If there's anything, I think that was the biggest highlights of my year, and not just for me as an individual, but for the girls that will benefit, and for the people that are inspired to start this, and the people that are inspired to support this, because we've gotten a lot of support from different people. So a lot of people didn't even know that period poverty is a thing. So they're still learning about that. They want me to teach them about it, and how they're interested to know how they can get involved. So that would be the happiest moment of my life, to make a difference. So yeah.
Okay. What about the most embarrassing moment you have ever had?
The most embarrassing moment I've ever had. There must be a moment where I was embarrassed, but at the moment I can't think.
Okay, no problem. Now,
the most embarrassing moment, I know, okay. I can remember the most embarrassing moment of my life when we were in Botswana for the Forbes under 30 event. I was so tired on the first day. I was so tired. I was jet-lagged. So I went and I slept on top of, not really sleeping, but kneeling on top of this car that I saw at the parking lot. I didn't even know whose car it was. And I later find out that it was the editor of Forbes Corp. because he came with his driver. And to me, I was so embarrassed because I didn't even know him. And I was just casually greeting him, and I moved from the car. And later the guards were telling me, oh, that's actually the owner of Forbes. I'm like, okay, I didn't know him because people there respect him. So I was just greeting properly. But there it's different. It's a culture shock thing. They know, not really know, but they bow down and greet. As for me, it was, hello, I'm so sorry to sleep in your car. And then I moved. So that was the most embarrassing moment for me because I didn't know him. So yeah.
So what do you think are the impacts of women in business?
The impact of women.
The impacts, that is the contributions of women in business.
Oh, the contribution of women in business. It's a lot. Because for one, we don't have equal opportunities as men. There's gender equality, and the how the pay is from men and women. We can do the same job, but we're not paid the same. So when there's women that are taking up space in business, then it changes the system. It challenges the system. It gives us because before I opened my business, there were people that motivated me to start my business. There's a girl that I particularly whom I till this day I glad I came across her social media page. It's called Mbali. She's called Mbali Sibapo. So that girl used to work in the army, and in the army she was, under supervision. She had bosses, she had this and that in place. And then she quit her job to start her own cosmetic business. And when she started her own cosmetic business, it changed the dynamics of everything for us as South African, because we didn't think that it was possible for a girl coming from where she comes from. She comes from a marginalized community like I am, leaving her job that was paying her good to start her own business and taking up a space, a beauty space that is it's a very untapped space. It's a very, I don't know. She's competing with big brands like Revlon and MAC and all these. So when she took up that space and she was very successful at it, it opened a lot of doors for us that were coming that, okay, we can do this, we can start, we can do this, and we can touch the market as well. It's not just for well-established individuals or for a certain group of gender or certain group of people, color. I don't want to make it a race thing, but the impact that women have in business is amazing because they motivate us or people that are coming to start our own things and not just be accustomed to you have to go to varsity and work. So for me, I would say that the impact of women they have in business is insane because they motivate us to challenge a lot of things that were put in place that are prejudiced against us as women, and they also allow us to make our own rules, because in my business I can make my own rules that are beneficial for women. So something that we have our voices heard, we have our voices seen. So yeah.
Okay, what about in governance?
In governance, in governance, in governance, I can't really speak much because, as we have seen in South Africa, a lot of people that are in governance offices are elderly people, which is nice. We respect our elders, but I wish that we can see more of our youth. I wish we can see young people in leadership, and see how they do things, because we've grown up seeing elderly people in leadership. So I just wish someday we can see younger people in leadership. I want them to be given that opportunity to lead and see how well they do in leadership. So in governance, I can't really speak much, but there's a lot of ministers that I respect, female ministers that I respect. But I just wish I can see someone young and take up that space and see how they will do.
What advice will you give a girl child?
My advice that I would give a girl child would be, you are beautiful just the way you are. You are smart in your own unique way.
I like that.
If there's anything you want to do, start where you are with what you have, and allow God to place you exactly where you need to be. If you're going to wait for, you don't wait for anything. If you feel like you have a dream that you want to pursue, start where you are with what you have and give it your all, and watch God place you exactly where you need to be, not where you want to be. So that will be my advice for young girls. Never listen to anyone who tells you that it's impossible to do anything, and never be afraid to take up space. You've got more than enough to take up space. You've got more than enough to be whatever you want to be. So you are wonderfully made the way you are. So just take up space, and the pie is big enough for every one of us. And it's about time we all become in leadership, or we all become our own bosses and create things that belong to us as Black women, and create things that belong to us as in Black communities. And yeah.
So, what are your future plans?
My future plans would be to expand this organization to Africa. I want these products and these services and programs to be available to at least 5 countries, other countries except for South Africa, before this year ends, and then we expand the following year. I want it to be a global movement. I want, even if it's not just my brand, I want other people, be it males or females, to tap into this space. I want it to be as big as it can get. So my plans is to expand to Africa and eventually outside Africa to other continents. But my priority as it stands of now is Africa. And I really wish that I can maybe mentor a few people that want to start this something similar to what I'm doing, and then we all take up space, because as they said, it's 2 is better than 1. So if we can have different people doing the same thing, it will be amazing for us to take up the space. And yeah.
So what do you think about feminism?
Feminism. I support feminism of all kinds. I support activists of all kinds. And I think I respect feminism so much. I respect it so much so because back in the days, our voices were not heard, our voices were not seen, our scars were not respected. But now when you have people that are feminists, people that are standing firm to what they believe in, I respect that so much. So for me, I'm all feminist. I support feminism. I support all kinds of activists, as long as they do not harm any other person in their what is the correct word? As long as they do not harm any person in whatever they do. So I'm okay with feminism. I love me some feminists. I love them so much. I love how bold they are. I wish I was that bold when I was younger. I wish I had so much courage when I was younger to speak up and to make sure that no is no. If only feminists were as popular or was as visible back then when I was growing up, I think I wouldn't have went through so much bullshit. Sorry, I'm not sure if I'm allowed to say that word. But yeah, I respect feminism. I respect feminism because it allows women to be liberated. And I like that.
Do you think men can be feminists?
Oh, that's a tricky question. Do I think men can be feminists? Yes, if they want to. But I'm not comfortable answering that question because it's very controversial.
Okay. But I think you see, as long as men respect women for who they are, as long as they give them their rights, their responsibilities, and so on, they could be feminists. Don't you think so? Okay, go. Okay. You know, I always give a person a right to answer a question or not. You know that, I mean, because I mean, all these questions, I mean, now, it's been nice meeting you. And you see, like the first thing I did was to apologize. I mean, for breaking time and all those things. Why are you so humble?
Why am I so humble?
Yeah.
I'm like this. Life humbled me all my life. So being humble is all I've known all my life, because you'll never know where your fate is coming from. I think what humbles me, or why I remain humble, is because all my life I've depended on people's kindness and courtesy. So I've learned to always stay humble, because you'll never know what the other person will do to your life or for your life, or vice versa. So it's always nice to remain humble, because the world is going through enough as it is. So we need to be kind always, and we need to show courtesy always, and offer people more grace than they deserve, because life is fragile as it is. So yeah, that is just me. That's how I am all the time.
You know why I asked that question?
Yes.
Okay, I think some time ago you were interviewed by the BBC and all those things. And, you know, when I approached you, you never felt that you were too great for this forum, you know. So that's why I asked the question. You know, I thank you so much, and I wish you all the best in your undertakings. And I believe, you know, even apart from the continent, you grow even beyond the continent. Is that okay?
You.
But then I know you have the can-do spirit. So I know, yeah, and I believe you carry it on. Is that okay?
Thank you so much. Thank you.
You're welcome. Bye.
Bye.